Welcome to the November Energy Update. We are Peyton, Corey, and myself, Yaila, and we love to bring three different modalities to give you a little heads up on what November will have in store for you. So we look at different themes, energy. Peyton connects to the High Council, the Pleiades, and channels their messages. And Corey does our intuitive astrology report, and I will wrap things up with an intuitive collective reading for you as well. So, Peyton, what do the P's have to say?
Thank you so much, Yaila. Hey, y'all, I'm Peyton, and have a little message for you from our Pleiadian friends. So, when we are looking at the energies that are coming up in November, we're going to get a little bit of a slowdown. For most of us, the past 6 weeks or so have been a bit choppy, to put it lightly. And so the first thing that the P's wanted us to understand about the November energies is this is going to be the calm before the storm. That was their words for it. But what they always remind us when they're telling us that the energies are going to shift is to remind us that your vibration determines your experience. So the more you keep yourself in love, your heart, neutrality, then all of the unstable energy goes right around you. And this, of course, is how it always works, but we're going to particularly want to keep our attention on that in November. So the way that the November energies may feel, according to the P's, is they may feel a little bit like we're caught in between worlds. So we may be feeling a little disconnected from the world, like we are walking through the fog, that things are a little voidy. These are all things that we're going to be noticing in the November energies. And there's a good reason for this. Because according to the Pleiadians, what is happening energetically is that we are pulling away from the 3D grid. So essentially for many of us, if you're doing your spiritual work, holding your vibration, the 3D world is starting to get farther and farther away from you. Because what's happening is we have moved on to a new consciousness grid. And we are actually on the 5D grid, which means we have access to the full 5D experience. But what is confusing our human minds is that our world looks very much the same. So we think we are still in 3D. But what the P's wanted us to understand about the November energies and kind of what we've been going through over the past couple months is we have already made the shift in consciousness grid. So right now, the mind, if we are spending time in our mind is trying to make sense of the new energies. But our mind doesn't know how to process 5D energies. So it hasn't been able to craft for us or create that new external reality that tells us we've moved onto a new grid. So what the P's wanted us to understand is the old 3D world is really just a memory for us. But we're so plugged into it and connected to it that we think it's still our reality. So we're going through this kind of very funky transitional phase as we move from one consciousness grid to the next. Now, here's the really interesting thing that happens as we make this transition from the 3D grid to the 5D grid. What happens is we get the chance to completely rewrite the rules of what it means to be human. We are literally redefining human existence. And normally throughout all of our other Earth incarnations, we had to die and reincarnate or come back in another aspect of our soul to make this kind of dramatic change in a life perspective, our life reality. But we're getting the chance to do that in an incarnation. So we're getting the chance to completely rewrite our future. Never had that opportunity on this planet before. But what happens is we go through kind of some periods where things feel a little spacey, a little disconnected, because we are just making such a massive change in our reality. So one of the best ways, according to the Pleiadians, that we can navigate these kind of funky, spacey, disconnected energies is to get out of our mind. The more we are in the mind, of course, the mind is doing what it does. It's trying to make sense out of energies that it can't translate. So the more we are in the mind, the more we're going to feel lost and confused. But if we go in the heart, if we anchor within, then we start to be pulled forward by our higher self. So this is a time for being, not doing. This is not a time to try to figure it out, grind it out, plan everything, because our mind can't figure things out anymore. The mind, as we go through this shift in consciousness, is being deactivated. So we are getting out of the whole mind-body system. We're learning to operate on a new operating system. So to do that, we have to be in the heart. And so the November energies are going to be giving us a chance to practice this. Now, according to the piece, something else we're going to continue to notice in the November energies is we're continuing the theme of separation. So that just means we are well underway in the separating of timelines that we've been talking about for, gosh, y'all, about 5 years now. And this process is moving so fast right now that anything we're still holding on to that doesn't match our timeline is being kind of ripped away from us. The words that the P's like to use when they're talking to me is they describe the energies as merciless. And you may have seen this in your life experience recently. People are reporting that relationships are crashing and burning. They are being pulled away from family members and friends, having breakups, falling out with, that businesses are breaking down, business partnerships are breaking down. So these energies are not playing gentle with us anymore. So the more we can let go of what is trying to let go of us, the easier we move through these energies. So this is a time to really be focusing on where we are headed, because as the P's mentioned, you get to rewrite your entire reality, once in a lifetime experience. But the more we're looking around and still staying plugged in to all the 3D distractions, whether you're still getting sucked into the news stories or even the stories on our spiritual channels that are talking about all of the negative agendas, if we are getting sucked into, the news, the AI, we just keep ourselves plugged into the old system. And one thing that the P's have been very firm about recently is that the old cannot go with us. So if we're staying distracted by all the shiny toys in the world around us, everything that's screaming for our attention, we stay active in the 3D experience, even though we're not there anymore. So it's up to us how quickly we move, but our attention determines what our future holds. So November is going to be a great opportunity for us to start letting go of our remaining ties to the old way. It's just not going with us. But you can drag it with you and keep yourself in a lower timeline if you want. It's always your choice. But very important window of energy as we move into the November energies. So that is what I've got for you from the Pleiadians for November. Corey, what is it looking like in the astrology?
Oh, thank you very much, Peyton and the P's. Very nice message. And of course, the astrology will back up the P's messages as well. Always happens that way. That's how the universe works. So November 2025. First half is Scorpio season. So Scorpio is deep, intense feelings, manipulation, transformation. Great time for transformation, and power or abuse of power. And then on the second half is going to be Sagittarius season. Having a lot of Sag in my chart. I'm happy about that. And it's a fire sign. Scorpio is water. Sag is fire. And Sagittarius loves to have fun and adventure. Sagittarius also loves, Sagittarius can have open mouth insert foot syndrome. So truth bombs, which sometimes is good, sometimes not so good. But Sag loves to have fun. So the second half of November is going to lighten up. It's going to lighten up a bit. So the beginning of November, November 4th, we have Mars, the output energy, is going to go into Sag. And that will help lighten things up and be playful, socializing. Also, November is a lot of truth coming out because we have a lot of Sag. And Sag also represents dogma, getting stuck in certain truths and not being open to truths, or reality, quite possibly. So we're going to see a lot of those things play out in November. We also have a lot of retrogrades in November. So it's a really big reflection month. Slowing down, like the piece said, slowing things down. And November, on the 5th, we have a lot of water also, in particular in the beginning of November. So Saturn, the principal, young man, young lady, where have you been? Chop wood, carry water. You're in trouble. And Neptune are in Pisces. So if you remember in the beginning of 2025, we kind of had that slow, sluggish energy. It was like, oh, I can't get anything done. We're back to that till early 2026. Pisces rules illusions, deception. So watch out for those deceptions and the illusions, maybe swaying you onto a wrong path or taking you off your path. So hold fast to your boundaries. So we're back to that, the boundaries. What are your boundaries? Hold fast to your boundaries and trust your intuition. We also have North Node in Pisces. So the higher vibration of that is your connection to spirit. Saturn is making a practice, a spiritual practice, the long goal, long-term plans. So on the 5th, and we're going to see that. We're going to see that the rest of the month, a lot of the month. We have a full moon in Taurus, and Taurus rules Mother Earth, financials, food, agriculture, our values. So full moons are about getting rid of what no longer serves you. So if you've been working on your values, financials, cozy time, food, just whatever's not working, that's a good time to let those go. Venus goes into Scorpio on the 6th, so that's intense love or loving intensity. One of the two. We have Uranus retrograde. Uranus is the quick planet. Things moving, it rules electricity, so fast moving. Back into Taurus. So we're going to see some earth changes. Uranus and Taurus, earth changes coming in with all the water, flooding. We're back to those things that are clearing the decks for the new energy that's coming in, as the P's were saying. Mercury goes retrograde in Sagittarius on the 9th. So it can be a challenge. Mercury is the mind. Sag is loves philosophy. So it could be a challenge to be open to the truth, because we might be like in our minds. The P's were saying, don't be in your mind, be in your heart. But it's a good time, as it's retrograde, to share some honest experiences that you've had, as opposed to dogmatic truths. because Sag also rules dogmatic truths. Sag also rules experiences. You know, if a Sagittarius needs to really learn something, they have to experience it. You can tell a Sagittarius everything, but until they experience it, do they go, ah, I got it. Jupiter's going to go retrograde in Cancer. Jupiter expander. Cancer's the home. So there might be some, it's renew, rewind, review. So we might be renewing some home places, maybe somewhere to look. Could be a good time to look for a new home, to redo things in the home. Great time. You know, in the US we have Thanksgiving, so it'd be great for cooking, and make sure there's not too many chefs in the kitchen, though. That could get not so pretty. Then we have Mercury is going to retrograde. It's going to retrograde in Sag, but then it's going to keep retrograding into Scorpio. So this is a review of hidden secrets. Scorpio also rules power, like I said, can be the abuse of power. So we might have some reviews of that. We have a new moon in Scorpio on the 19th. And set the intentions for manifesting. You know, Scorpio has that transformation. Transformation. I can't help myself. I just can't. Every time I say it. Well, you all, if you've been watching us for a while, you've gotten used to it. But the new moon in Scorpio, it's going to be intense, because moon in Scorpio is always intense. So set some intention and some manifestation for some transformations that you'd like to make in your life. We might see some big transformations maybe in power, maybe hidden secrets coming out. The 21st, the sun is in Sag. So Sag is the eternal optimist, and it also is the opportunity for truth. Do you see a theme going on? November. Review, truth bombs. Review, truth bombs. And then on the 27th, Saturn is going to go direct. It's going to move forward in Pisces. So this is reality checks. Going to have some reality checks. And it also, all the reviewing of your boundaries, illusions, you know, getting rid of the things that really aren't for you in your spiritual well-being. We're going to get some reality checks, and the boundaries that we've been working on, get to expand on those. Yay. Then on the 29th, Mercury will go direct in Scorpio. Mercury the mind. Scorpio is, you know, power, hidden secrets. So it's going to be a very interesting month. It's a very reflective month. It will be, yes, sludgy, like it was in the beginning of the year. But we are breaking down the old systems. It's not pretty. And so be good to yourselves. Stay in the love vibration. Be kind to yourself and others, and enjoy this time of reflection. The universe is in control at the moment. Just like the piece said, to push, to get things done, to do, not happening in November. So just let the universe take you away. Alrighty, so that's what I've got. Yaila, what have you got?
Thank you so much, ladies. It's always fun to hear how our readings coincide without ever planning. So lots of great info. I am Yaila. I'll be doing the collective reading. Many times I have my eyes closed from time to time because that's how I tap into the energy. So let me just connect to you. And I always just like to ask for a blessing, creator of all that is. Please bring forth information, any healing, deep insights for your highest and best good. Please guide me with clarity and accuracy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm getting a really bright yellow color for the collective and kind of like a burgundy maroon. So let me just kind of see what these colors are. The maroon feels like a lot of other energy, and it's funny because when the ladies were sharing their readings, I kept hearing the mask is slipping, the masks are slipping, and I'm also hearing the truth is being illuminated. And obviously, that's always on a personal level and then a collective level, because what happens in the macro also happens in the micro. So this burgundy maroon color is identifying the energies outside of us or that came from outside of us that we're realizing are not ours to carry right now. And so there's some insight on, is this really mine? Do I need to carry this anymore? And the really bright yellow energy is illuminating your core, your truth, your authenticity. You know, these are themes that we've all been kind of sharing the last couple months, really, but even the last couple years, like Peyton was saying, you know, the truth and the energy and coming into our heart chakra, all of this has been slowly building momentum for a while now. We're really starting to lock into our groove when it comes to that. And so for November, what's helpful to know is masks are slipping, and you may notice that your telepathy, being able to pick up on others' thoughts, is also heightening. So a lot of our clairsenses and telepathy are getting stronger. So look for examples of that for yourself, even if you haven't been trying to train in it or it just sounded kind of cool. Maybe just the word is coming into your awareness a little bit more often. But telepathy and mask flipping is going to be a really strong energy that you're going to notice within yourself and the world around you. And we're going to be seeing that, you know, in the news, when it comes to politics, when it comes to our finances, but also when it comes to our close, intimate relationships as well. We're just going to see behind the mask. It's going to be illuminated, and then we get to choose how we are navigating that. So that is something that is helpful to know. And as you are connecting to your truth, this is where we get to go inward and feel in your body, is this truly bringing me joy? What used to bring us joy may not bring us joy anymore. So there is this kind of, I think of like stirring a pot of soup. When you're adding all these different ingredients and you have it going one way, we're kind of in that time and space where we just started to move the soup in a different direction, and there's not an easy flow yet, but it still has all the same ingredients. We're just learning how to flow it in a different way. So we're kind of in that space right now. Thinking of yourself like that. So what do you want to keep in your soup? What is working together? What isn't? So these are things to really look at. And I love how Corey was bringing up, you know, it's just that reflection. It is that integration, and you're seeing what aligns to you, what doesn't, and you're going to feel it in your body. You're going to feel it in your heart. You're going to feel it in your gut instincts. It's going to show up physically, even though it may not make sense in your mind. I know the ladies touched on that. So I always like to ask what to watch out for. So beyond mask slipping, because that could be helpful, and what to watch out for. To me, I think it's more helpful. I wish truth for everybody, because then we get a clean place to decide. So what should we watch out for the month of November? What to watch out for? I'm hearing a lot of emotion. So for November, you'll probably notice you are more sensitive, you're more emotional, and things that are really having you look at your self-worth, whether you are really feeling truly valued and appreciated in different aspects of your life, you're really going to notice that. You're going to notice that within yourself, and you're going to notice, what am I doing on a daily basis to really give that devotional love and tap into my worthiness for myself? So something to watch out for is heightened emotions, but they are roadmaps to where you truly feel valued, you truly feel seen, and that's also your body showing you how to find that right groove that feels best for you. Last question I'd like to ask is anything else? Anything else that we should know for the month of November 2025? I'm hearing, even though it feels like you are going slow, taking it one step at a time, even if it's a baby step, you're actually taking leaps and bounds from how the energy worked out before. So, a baby step in the right direction in your true alignment moves you so much further and faster than a big step in the wrong direction or something that's close but not quite there. It's going to take so much energy and time to find your way back on track. So just know, even if it's a teeny tiny baby step in your authentic truth, and it could be as simple as no, no, this doesn't work for me right now. Yes, I really want that. Follow those simple little nudges, and those tiny little steps are actually going to move you easier, faster, in such a more flow direction to what you truly want and what is aligned for you. So that is what I have for November. Ladies, do you want to add anything else? No? All right. Well, as always, we love and appreciate you for joining us every month. It's always fun to reconnect with you ladies and with you watching. And we will see you next month in December. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.